Was, shows from the past for today's imaginations.
When Radio Was airs Monday through Friday, right here on ON 1240 Radio at 11 a.m. and 11 p.m.
Hi, this is Don Burnell inviting you to join us on the Midday Show every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday with the Super Quiz, great oldies, and interesting guests.
Don Burnell returns to the Midday Show Tuesday, May 5th at 1 p.m. here on ON, AM, and FM. Just a reminder from your friends at ON Radio. ON Cares. Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON, Woonsocket Radio. ON, AM, and FM.
WOON, Woonsocket. With great music just for you. News, weather, and coffee and two. WOON, Woonsocket. It's the worldwide sound of ON Radio.
Are you tired of the same old dishing and depressing chatter in the morning radio? Then don't get down. Get up with me, Dave Richards, from 5 to 8 a.m. each weekday. On the Road with Joe, fun, the trivia quiz, and interesting stories, and your favorite tunes by your request. Don't get down. Get up with Dave. Weekday mornings only on ON, AM, and FM.
You hear it all on ON Radio. Feel the spirit.
Are you tired of the same old dishing and depressing chatter in the morning radio? Then don't get down. Get up with me, Dave Richards, from 5 to 8 a.m. each weekday. On the Road with Joe, fun, the trivia quiz, and interesting stories, and your favorite tunes by your request. Don't get down. Get up with Dave. Weekday mornings only on ON, AM, and FM.
Did you know that in the 1960s, 92% of Americans listened to local radio every week? What do you think it is now?
I bet it's a lot less.
Would you believe that it's...
Good morning, and welcome to Coffee and, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question to the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email at joe@onesocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee and panel on ON 1240, WOON, Woonsocket Radio.
And a good morning to you. It is Coffee and Time on ON, AM, and FM, 1240 AM, 99.5 FM. It's Monday. It's May 4th. Happy Rhode Island Independence Day.
Yes.
I'm Joe Callahan. That was Dave Richards. Good morning, Dave.
Hi there. I was going to ask a question about that and no prize trivia, but I thought it was too important a question to waste with no prize.
That's right. So save it for next year, I guess.
Right. Have you ever seen the plaque on the wall at the old Rhode Island State House?
No, I have not.
Gives you chills when you walk in that room.
Yeah?
To think of what went on in that room.
Sure.
My goodness. There's a big plaque on the wall, a big brass plaque.
Cool. Joining us also on the phone is the Woonsocket City Council Vice President and candidate for mayor of the city of Woonsocket, John Brian. Good morning to you, John.
Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Dave. How are you today?
Excellent. And now that's announced candidate.
That's an announced candidate. Not
Nobody's really a candidate yet.
No one's a true candidate. I've announced my candidacy. That's correct,
okay.
David.
All right.
Got to be specific.
Well, it has a lot to do with FCC rules, too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All right.
So basically the declaration period will be at the end of June. At that point, you'll be issued your nomination papers. The
Take them
Board
out,
of Elections,
get the signatures, bring them back, certify.
Well, interesting, Dave. The Board of Elections is still trying to figure out how they're going to do that. I mean, I don't.
Yeah,
have
how are you going to go
with,
door to door getting all your signatures?
I don't have a problem with it, so I don't see what the issue is. But we'll see what the Board of Elections, wants us to do, and whatever that is, that's how we'll handle the certification of becoming a candidate. But I am an announced candidate, and I have every intention of running for mayor in November.
All right.
Okay.
Well, John, you're also the vice president of the city council as it sits now.
That's correct.
We'll ask you some city council stuff later on, but let's get to the juicy stuff. Joe has a bunch of questions for you in your campaign.
Okay.
Before we got to get to our first segment sponsor
Oh,
of
that's right.
Offhand, which is Windermere Woods.
Windermere Woods, located at 1044 Minden Road in Woonsocket. Windermere Woods, 401-762-4226, and also on the web at windermerewoods.com. Live at Windermere Woods in a nice atmosphere that provides caring, security, and comfort. Once you move in, you'll want to stay at Windermere Woods for many years and be happy. It's a comfortable place to live and meet new people, enjoy regular meals, and get peace of mind. Windermere Woods is a small community with a nice, friendly atmosphere, and Windermere Woods is affordable. Windermere Woods offers such programs as housekeeping services, transportation to doctor's appointments, and to shopping. Windermere Woods is a very secure facility, 24/7 staffing. Someone's there day and night. They provide social entertainment activities and invite you to come by and visit. Windermere Woods, 1044 Minden Road, Woonsocket, 401-762-4226. Windermere Woods.
It is Coffee In on ON, AM, and FM. If you have any comments or questions, especially for John Brian, give us a call at 766-1240 or email them into me, Joe at OneSocketRadio.com.
He'll only be here for a portion of the show, folks, so don't wait to the end.
That's right. So, John, what are you doing in terms of campaigning right now and trying to keep your social distancing? It's all new. It's all different. You're the first person that gets to try this. So how are you campaigning thing these days?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, Joe and Dave, I mean, right now there isn't a. Am I keeping the campaign going? Is there some momentum? There is. Has it slowed down by this pandemic? Absolutely. I mean, when you think about it, what hasn't slowed down? This is the amazing thing about COVID-19 is that it's the ultimate pebble in the pond. The ripple effects have hit everyone and everything in a certain way. So believe me, I'm not alone here in trying to figure this out. But as far as campaigning goes, I haven't been campaigning per se during the course of this because I think the most important thing is to stay safe, to stay healthy, and to help out those that need help during this time. And I think that being out there in our community and volunteering at things like the All Saints food pantry and doing what I can out in the community with my wife Nicole and I, we like to take walks and we bring trash bags with us and we walk and we pick up as much as possible. We are supporting local business by going out and getting takeout a couple times a week, and when we go, we'll get a $25 gift card from that restaurant, because these are the restaurants that always give gift cards to every cause at every time when you ask them when things were good. So I think 100 pennies makes $1 here. I think there's a lot of things you can do, and I haven't wanted to campaign, so to speak, during this because it's such a crisis, and it's so it's affecting everyone so hard and in so many different ways that I think trying to score.
Where he went away, Dave.
He was there, and
Yeah.
then he just started to flutter and fail, and then there was no sound anymore. I'm all still connected here.
I'm still here. I
good,
haven't.
because right in the middle of a sentence, it started fluttering, and then there you was gone.
I don't know what happened. I haven't moved a muscle, and I'm on a hard line. So,
all right. Well, you were explaining how the shaking hands and kissing baby stuff isn't appropriate right now.
Yeah, I don't think that this is the time for campaigning. I think there's other things you can do, and like I said, certainly moving forward, when things are relaxed, we'll be in a more of a campaign mode, and we'll fire things right back up. But what can you do now? Like tomorrow night, I'll be doing a Facebook Live, and that'll be exciting because we're going to have a little reveal there at the end of something we've been wanting to share for a while. So I invite everyone to go on to John Brian for Mayor on Facebook, and it'll be a public. You can also see it through my personal Facebook, which is just me, John Brian. But we'll be doing Facebook Lives to reach people. We had one already; it was pretty successful, and we'll be doing things like that. And what else can you do when you're invited to go on a radio show like Coffee and you take that opportunity to get your message out. But I mean, let me be clear, guys. I mean, I think that this really brings us back to the good old days in a way of what campaigns used to be like. This is going to be just a back to basics kind of campaign in which I'm going to be out there this summer, and restrictions are going to get loosened, and I'm going to spend the summer going door to door and meeting as many people as possible. And when I knock on your door, if you don't want to answer the door, that's okay. You don't have to. I'll leave something for you. You know I've been there, and that I tried that outreach. If you want to open your door and we talk through the screen, that's good. If you want to come out, if you want, whatever people are comfortable with. But I want people to know that I'm going out there to make sure that I took the time to meet them, because ultimately it's a job interview, and how can you have a proper job interview without meeting your potential employer? And the employer are the people at Woonsocket, and I want them to know that I'm interviewing for this job. I believe that I'm well qualified for this job, that I'm the better candidate for this position, particularly now, guys, because the way I look at it, there is no better time for a fresh start here in Woonsocket than now, because Woonsocket, when times were good, when the economy was at an all-time high and the engines were revving.
1953.
2020, when things were doing great, everyone was working and things were going well. Just say March 13th and prior, the city, our city, was stagnant. It was surviving. It wasn't thriving. And so, if you can't get over the hump when the economy is as good as it was, how are you going to do it when it's where it is now? And I think that this is a unique opportunity for the city of Woonsocket, because the city of Woonsocket has always been, historically, and it remains historically on the list of distressed communities, and it's always been on that list. However, there are 39 cities and towns in the state of Rhode Island. All 39 cities and towns are going to be in trouble one way or another. Everyone is hurting, and this really does level the playing field throughout the state, in which Woonsocket is not that community at the bottom rung like usual when it's looking up at all the other East Bay, South County, and other suburban communities. And so I think that this gives us a unique opportunity to rebrand, to reset, to have a fresh start, and to be able to be on a level playing field with the rest of the cities and towns, so that we can finally get Woonsocket to where we want it to be. And that's a community in which people from within believe in the community, and from without see this community as a place, wow, they're really doing things differently in Woonsocket. They're really working together with other cities and towns that are similarly situated. That's really a great place where I would like to go to work in the city of Woonsocket. They've got a great work atmosphere. These are the things that we need to work on. There is no better time for a reset than right now. So I really believe you can do things differently, Joe. You can do things utilizing technology, but it's not going to take the old school part of it, and that is you got to go out, you got to talk to people. Whether they're willing to talk to you, that's okay, but you have to show that you're willing to do that. I'll be doing that all summer long.
All right, John, we do have a note that's been written in, and I'm gonna read it to you right now. So this is to John. The writer says, I am not in favor of voting for the return of the incumbent, and so I'd like to hear some of the proposals to improve the city. One major issue in which the aforementioned has not addressed properly is speeding, especially on the main roads entering and exiting the city. So there's one of the major issues is speeding. I guess, do you plan to address that, I guess?
Well, I mean, look, speeding it's an interesting way to look at things, because if you say if you're looking at the main thoroughfares into the city and leaving the city, some of them are state roads, right? So those are actually monitored by the state police. But of course, they could be monitored by the city as well. We've got a city that has a crime rate that is stable, but it's pretty extensive at times, depending on what the crimes are. And I think that we need to have a very successful police department, and I think that we have and we will. One of the things, I think one of the ways you have a successful police department is you take the politics out of the police department, you take the micromanagement out of the police department, and there are certainly things that you can do to make sure you have a well-run police department without putting your fingers in the pie constantly. And I think one of those things is traffic enforcement. I believe that there are ways to do it, and if you drive by the library, there are a lot of cars that aren't being used, and also in that lot, that newly fenced-in lot that was approved by the city council at the police department. I wouldn't be opposed to taking one of those older cars, putting it in a very visible spot. And have you guys ever seen? I know it sounds funny, but have you guys ever seen one of the police cars? They put a mannequin behind the wheel and dressed up as a police officer, and you put the car's not being used anyway, right? Why can't you do that? Why can't you do that? Because people see, they automatically slow down. Now there are other things you can use. You can use technology. You can get the signs at the entrances to the city and exiting the city. Those electronic signs that tell you your speed and enforcement. There's been talk about cameras. I have I have issues with cameras only to the extent that you've seen them in Providence and other places in which many people are taking those tickets to court and winning because of the way that they were cited. Cameras in school zones, I think, could be something to look at, only because during the school hours specifically. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do, but I think the best way to do it is to allow the police to run their police department in the best way they see fit, in an efficient way, without putting the politics into the police department.
Okay, John, we got to take a break here in the Coffee and program, so if you have any comments or questions for John Brian, call him in now, 766-1240. He'll be here till 8:30, or email him in to me, joe@OneSocketRadio.com. This portion of the Coffee and program has been sponsored by Windermere Woods.
Windermere Woods, located at 1044 Menden Road in Woonsocket. Windermere Woods, 401-762-4226, and also on the web at windermerewoods.com. Live at Windermere Woods in a nice atmosphere that provides caring, security, and comfort. Once you move in, you'll want to stay at Windermere Woods for many years and be happy. It's a comfortable place to live and meet new people, enjoy regular meals, and get peace of mind. Windermere Woods is a small community with a nice, friendly atmosphere, and Windermere Woods is affordable. Windermere Woods offers such programs as housekeeping services, transportation to doctor's appointments, and to shopping. Windermere Woods is a very secure facility, 24/7 staffing. Someone's there day and night. They provide social entertainment activities and invite you to come by and visit. Windermere Woods, 1044 Menden Road, Woonsocket, 401-762-4226. Windermere Woods.
I'm here with Celeste Benjamin of the Benjamin Insurance Agency in North Smithfield. Celeste, tell me about the Benjamin Agency.
Most of our business is providing home and auto insurance. However, we feel the most important thing is to insure people. Everyone insures their home, their autos, which are really just objects. I don't know if you know this, Dave, but only 57% of Americans even have life insurance. You may get into an accident, you may have a claim on your home, but life insurance is a guaranteed payout for your family. We are here to keep your family going. Our family serving your family.
You're in good hands with Allstate and Kara and Celeste Benjamin of the Benjamin Insurance Agency, 125 Eddie Dowling Highway, across from Dowling Village in North Smithfield, 765-5000.
Guiding and assisting a family as they honor and celebrate the life of someone they love is our mission at Menard Locouture Funeral Homes. From personalized memorial cards, video tributes, to individual requests, such as the presence of sporting gear or even a motorcycle in front of the funeral home, we are able to walk with you as you make decisions at a difficult time. As you plan a loving remembrance for one close to you, Menard Locouture Funeral Home will be there for you.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
WOON, Woonsocket Radio, ON, AM, and FM.
It's Coffee In on ON Radio. This is Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards, and John Brian is with us as well. Still with us, John?
Absolutely. Can you hear me?
I sure can. All right. The other part of that message was can you just go about explaining some of the proposals you have kicking around that you want to use to improve the city?
Well, I think, of course, economic development is a huge one, but it's always everyone always says economic development. But the thing is, you have to bring in real economic development, and I think it's not just saying that, okay, look, we've got a business that moves from this building to that building, or we've got this pizza place moving from here to there. That's not true economic development. Economic development is bringing in investment from the outside and incentivizing investors to come into the city and working with them to say, look, we're going to help you. We're going to help you in every way, shape, or form get through this process. The administrative process, the political process, whatever you need. We can talk about what it takes looking forward for taxes and as far as incentivizing businesses to come. You have to incentivize business, real business, to invest in the city of Woonsocket. Because if you don't, North Smithfield is going to. North Smithfield has. UC Dowling Village, Cumberland, Lincoln. These are Smithfield. These are towns that have incentivized business and given them a reason to come into their community. We need to do the same, and that's what I plan on doing. There's also similarly situated towns, Central Falls, Pawtucket, that the only difference between us and them is there are two towns in between us. They are doing great, but that's because they work collaboratively. They work together. They see what works between the two towns because they're so similarly situated. I think one of the best ways you can have proper economic development now is that you have to have a leader who is willing to work with others, willing to work collaboratively with the leaders of the other cities and towns, and not worry about who's going to get the credit for what happened, and not worry about governing for that photo op. It's about empowering people and letting them succeed. And when they succeed, you in turn succeed. And that's what leadership is, showing other people's successes. Because ultimately, that's how you build loyalty, and that's how you build, that kind of cooperation between the cities and towns. You got to look at what the best practices are in other cities and towns, what they're doing, and what they're doing successfully. And as this campaign is rolled out, we'll be talking about some of those things that they are doing that we're not doing, some of the things that we should be doing, some of the things we can be doing, some of the businesses I would like to bring into the city and move forward. But a lot of that, guys, depends on, the musical chairs of COVID-19, who's going to be standing and what it's going to look like when this is all over.
Okay, John, you talked about your Facebook Live events. You had one already on your website. Could you tell how many people were checking in to watch you on Facebook Live, and were you able to just answer questions from the crowd?
Yeah, so we had. I mean, this was my first time. I've never done Facebook Live, so we did it last Monday night, and I had about 75 people, but that was only because that was my error. So anyone that wants to tune in tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, I didn't realize the setting has to go from friends to public. So that's something that will be changed for tomorrow night, because there were a lot of people that contacted me and others that said they tried to tune in but couldn't. So that'll be public tomorrow night. What I want to do tomorrow night is talk about the city council meeting. So if you can contact me at johndbreen@gmail and send questions about tonight's city council meeting if you have any, or any other questions. What we did was it was just basically an hour, Joe, and it was just people were asking questions, and I was answering them as they came in, and which also, led to branch off conversations about other things. It's really interesting when you're sitting there and you're talking to your iPad for an hour. It really is strange, because you're having a conversation. It feels like with yourself, but it's not. And so you got to just keep talking and talking and talking. And so it's not a really natural thing, but I think if it's a way you can build an audience, I think tomorrow's audience will be bigger. And I think that once the word gets out that I'm doing these and I'm doing these regularly, I think we'll have more and more people. So I think it's a good thing. It's a tool. It's not a silver bullet. It's, like I said, 100 pennies makes a dollar. It's one of many things. But I think it puts me in a comfortable atmosphere that people see me for who I really am. When it comes down to it, I'm just a regular guy. I'm running for mayor. I think I'm well qualified for this position. I'm trying to convince other people that I am, that I want to earn their vote, and that I will truly be the people's mayor. And I think that this allows people to see me in a way that they may not have seen me before.
Hey, John, can I ask you a question about tonight's city council meeting before we run out of time?
You can ask me whatever you want, Dave. I'm yours.
You mind, Joe? Because I know you had a whole list of juicy questions.
No, go ahead, Dave. Ask
about the mayoral thing. But one of the things, of course, that we talked about on our newscast this morning that was singled out as an interesting aspect, the mayor has asked the council, and I guess Dan Gendron obliged, to put together a change or an adaptation of the rules so that restaurants around the city can have more seating when they're allowed to do business normally. And I guess the premise is that it's expected that when the restrictions are lifted in Rhode Island in phases, that they're not going to be able to use all the seats in their restaurants. They're going to have to keep the crowds very low. But that if they did some tables and chairs outside on the sidewalk of their restaurant or in the parking lot or something like that, it might afford them a better way of recovering from what everybody's lost money during this thing. That's going to come before you as a city council tonight. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, so I think that credit goes to Dave LaHouse for representing the Hospitality Association quite well. He's been speaking about this for a while, about a way to kind of reconfigure his business and how to do this. In fact, Dave had a conversation with me about sidewalk dining he had seen in Montreal last year. So I think that was a great idea by him. I think that when you see the notion of trying to get our small businesses and our restaurants back up and running, I don't have a problem with it. I think that certainly there'll be some zoning, factors to think about here. I know one of the proposals tonight regarding the outdoor dining would be that it would be until 9 o'clock. I mean, if we're going to do it, if we're going to allow this because we're trying to get our businesses back up on their feet, I say we should allow them to, be outside till, 10 o'clock at least, because, I mean, that extra hour can really make the difference I think that it's a great idea to allow the businesses to do this. It may get tweaked one way or another, but I think that this is a time in which we've got to have a liberal approach right now to, and it's a temporary thing. There's a date certain in the legislation that says that this outdoor dining will go until a date certain. The date that strikes me, I think, is September 30th. If I'm not mistaken.
Basically, the good weather summer.
Yeah, and so I think that we need, especially now and especially this summer, that normally we would be very strict about these kinds of things, and government moves at a glacial pace, and so these allowances and these requests would have to come in months in advance so that we could debate it and get through and vote on it and blah, blah, blah. But I think under these conditions, I think we need to have a liberal approach, and I think we need to have an aggressive approach that allows the businesses to be able, because they need to be able to survive, because COVID-19 is not going to be around forever. This pandemic is going to go away, but we want to make sure these businesses stay here. And so if that's what we have to do to allow them to do it, I'm all for it.
Very good. Thanks, John. We'll be looking forward to broadcasting tonight's meeting at 7 o'clock. And, of course, we'll have a copy up on the website right afterwards for people who want to review it. And you've got, I think, you've opened up the YouTube channel for better security, because if everybody goes to the Zoom channel, then there's additional expenses for everybody who joins, and you end up with a possibility of somebody misbehaving.
Yeah, in regard to that, I'd like to, once the governor begins to lessen the restrictions of people, I'd like to, I'll be pushing to get a city council meeting in Harris Hall, and there's no reason why we can't have 7 councilors. It's big enough. We can have 7 councilors 6 feet apart, and the clerk and Paul Jacob and his wife. I mean, we can do that. And
you'll have to use the wide lens.
Yeah, but
because of the separation.
Yes, if anyone can do it, it'll be Paul. I mean, so we could definitely get back to having a live meeting in Harris Hall, broadcast on TV, and stream through the YouTube channel for people, because I think it's a more user-friendly, I think it's a more transparent, because not everyone can access the computer, not everyone knows how, not everyone has the wherewithal, but everyone can turn on their TV and watch the meeting. And I think that a lot of people miss out on the meetings that way. And so I'd like to get back. And it also gives people at least a little sense of normalcy as we creep back to being, who we once were. And I'm looking very forward to getting back to that. That's for sure.
You don't think we should broadcast it on the radio?
No, of course we should. It's always been broadcast on the radio. I'm talking. You know what I'm saying, Dave. Of course we should broadcast it, because people do listen on the radio as well. But if the only way you can see the meeting is if you're used to wanting to see the meeting, the visual aspect of the meeting, but you can only do it through the computer, I think you lose a substantial amount of your audience. And I think that the live broadcast is the best way to go.
Okay, John, well, we got to let you go. And so good luck with the meeting tonight, and good luck with your campaign. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I'll be talking to you again, and I really appreciate the time, and have a great day, and stay safe, be well, and God bless. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, John. Time for a look at the forecast, which is being brought to you by Cars.com. We do have cloudy skies this morning, gradually becoming sunny this afternoon. High temperature today near 69. Could be windy, though. Wind gusts as high as 24 miles per hour.
Newsflash, we got the sun already.
Oh, nice to see the sun.
Okay.
Tonight, cloudy skies, gradually becoming clear skies. Low temperature around 38. Continued windy. Wind gusts as high tonight as 23 miles per hour. Tuesday's weather, sunny, high near 59. Tuesday night, mostly clear, low 35. Wednesday, partly sunny, high near 59. And the outlook for Thursday, mostly cloudy with a 50% chance of showers and a high near 55. And currently, outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner.
Newsflash, it's gone up.
Okay.
66.
Kennedy Street, it's 66 degrees. Thanks, Dave. Car shop from your couch with Cars.com. Connect with dealers to tour cars virtually. Search great prices, and yes, cars are ready for home delivery. With over 4 million new and used cars, Cars.com has your match. More of Coffee Ants coming up. Stay tuned.
People ask what PACE is. Well, PACE is a different kind of health plan. There's really nothing like it. because PACE was created to give older people with health challenges the care and support they need to keep living at home. If you have a parent who wants to remain independent and live at home, but needs help to do so, call 401-654-4176 or visit pace-ri.org and see what a difference PACE can make in both of your lives.
Local businesses are the key to success in our community. That's why Leo at Switzer Automotive of Woonsocket is a growing business, and Leo and his staff have been giving their expert mechanical services for many years. Switzer knows how important car maintenance is, and their quality service is always guaranteed. Trust the experts at Switzer. Remember, they provide complete foreign and domestic car and truck repairs. Client confidence is their most valuable product. Switzer Automotive, 309 Olo Street, Woonsocket. We salute you for your continuing success in our community.
Did you know that in the 1960s, 92% of Americans listened to local radio every week? What do you think it is now?
I bet it's a lot less.
Would you believe that it's still 92%?
Wait, you mean more people listen to radio than TV?
Yes, more people use local radio every week than any other device.
I know I listen. I just didn't realize that everyone else does too.
92% of Americans listen every week. You are right now. Thanks.
You can depend on us for public service. OWN Radio.
This portion of the Coffee and program is sponsored by the Call newspaper.
The Call, Woonsocket's daily hometown newspaper since 1892, is still essentially a paper for the people. Our photographs record happenings that make news, and some will have historical significance in years to come, while others are intended to entertain or inform you of current events. They illustrate life's drama, which runs the gamut of humor to tragedy and everywhere in between. We're more than a reporter of daily news. Many readers continue to look to our paper for entertainment and relaxation offered by cartoons, comics, and other lighter features offered daily. In addition, we provide you with dates, times, and places of social event happenings throughout the community. Local sports covered daily by award-winning sports staff writers. If you're not subscribing to your local daily newspaper, you should. Call us today at 767-8522. Home delivery is just a phone call away at 767-8522. We take great pride in our publication and our sincere wish to serve you, our readers, at the Call.
Coffee In on ON AM and FM. This is Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards, and we're being joined, hopefully, on the phone right now by Denise Leverall from Pepin Lumber. Good morning, Denise.
Good morning, guys.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
We're doing well. So we wanted to bring Denise on to talk about the things that are going on at Pepin Lumber, and things are going very well over there, are they not?
Yes, they're going pretty good. The door's open. You can come in. You know, we ask that you wear a mask like we're all supposed to. You can walk around, shop around. We'll get you what you need, and it's pretty good. People are doing all kinds of things, so they're keeping us busy. We're busy.
Well, that's good. So this past weekend was beautiful weather-wise, and people like to get outside and do yourself projects. So did you see a lot of people coming in and purchasing stuff to fix up their homes?
It was very busy on Saturday. Very
great.
Busy. People are just home and look at this and look at this, and they have time, so they're repairing this and they're repairing that. There's a lot of raised beds going up, like people, their gardens, they decided, well, they're going to be home, let's make a garden. There's painting going on. Even actually people spending their stimulus checks because they have that little extra cash to do it.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So it was a very good Saturday, very, very busy Saturday. A lot of home repairs going on,
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm. For a little while there, you were just doing that Windows service, but you've stopped that now. But you were telling me earlier, at the end of last week, that people are still waiting out in their cars before they come into the store?
No, they call and they ask how we're doing it, and they knew that we were doing Windows service. Windows service was okay, but really, we felt bad that the customer was out in the cold. And then we're so close to the traffic that it was so hard to hear with the cars going by what they actually wanted. So it's better off that they they just come in, and we have our table distancing and our mask on. So it worked out. It was okay at first, but the traffic is very loud when you're trying to take an order over the window block. So we open the door and let them in now.
And so you put the tables in front of the cash register, so you have that extra, 3 feet or so.
Yeah. And then we have shields in front of us too. We have plexiglass shields in front of us, so that helps us a little bit too. That helps us, So we're doing what we're supposed to do, what the law says we have to do. And they're coming in, getting what they need, but they remembered we used to do window service, so they're actually calling and saying, how can I go about this? I need this. Oh, you can just come in. Oh, okay. That's it.
Great.
And, they get what they need.
Okay. That sounds great. Now, are people doing the railings that we've been talking about on your ads?
Yep. The decks are going out. The railings are going out. People are quoting, how they give us their measurements, and we quote their job and the decks. There's a lot of different colored decks. I think people are anticipating that they're going to have to stay home a little bit more this summer. So they're getting ready to stay, to stay around their homes a little bit. And you know what? You buy a home, now it's time, you're going to really be able to enjoy it. Because you're going to be home.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, life is so busy. And unfortunately, we have to go through this, and it will pass, but it takes a little time. Well, it might take a little time. But I think people are just thinking like, okay, I'm going to be home. I'm getting this done. I have more time now. Before they were so busy, nobody had time to do extra stuff. So now that's what they're doing.
All right. You also had a load of Milwaukee power tools have come in?
Oh, well, Father's Day is around the corner. But before that, we have Mother's Day. So we have some things for Mother's Day, too, that you can come in and shop around. And then Milwaukee, we are the headquarters of Milwaukee. And Father's Day is next month, and months go by fast. We have some T-shirts and hats and easy pickup for Dad. And then we have a whole line of Milwaukee power tools. Yep.
I like it. So, and like you said, Mother's Day is coming up this coming Sunday. So inside is the country gift shop. So there's stuff there to pick up for Mom, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Like
we have all kinds of things.
What do you have over there? Like, give me a couple of examples.
Well, the candles and the melts. Then I shrink wrap them and put a little bow on it. We have the flowers that are like the not the real flowers, the fake flowers. Then a little piece of furniture. Sometimes sometimes somebody mother might need a little piece of side table type thing that the mothers might like, that country look. Oh, there's pictures, there's runners, there's all kinds of things. And then Americana. Some families, they're into the Americana with the red, white, and blue stuff. There's a lot of that. The flags, the seasonal flags are good on Mother's Day, where they can change their flags every season. There's all little things,
Things. Okay. So you also have, for people who have the older homes with the odd-shaped windows, maybe an odd-shaped door, you got your 8-foot and shorter shop where you'll cut the wood for the customer.
The 8-foot and shorter shop is a big seller because people are just doing repairs, so they only need a 4-foot or 6-foot, and we have it right there. And sometimes it's like it's the perfect fit for what somebody needs.
What kind of wood do you carry down there? Is it all one kind, or you have different types of wood?
No, there's pressure treated, which if you're repairing, that's the short pressure treated. There's a lot of pine, all different sized pines, and then we have some cedar. Now, a lot of people are doing the raised gardens, and the cedar, they want the cedar. There's some cedar down there that's very good. Some 2x4s, I had a gentleman this week. On Saturday, he went to the Apron Shorter Shop because he's making those cornhole game things, and he wanted to practice make them, so he went down there. So there's all kinds of things down there. Yep.
Sounds good. Any questions there, Dave?
Oh, no, you're doing a great job.
Oh, thanks, Dave.
I'm just sitting here enjoying it.
All right. And
Denise's excitement is infectious.
Isn't it? How's everyone else?
It's a good infection, by the way. I'm sorry. I didn't realize people might take that the wrong way.
How's everything amongst your sisters and your brother Cam? Everybody working hard there at the Pepin?
Oh, yeah. Yep. We're it's so nice. So it gives us more energy, too. On the rainy days, but everybody's moving.
Excellent. Have you changed your hours because of COVID-19, Denise?
No, we're doing the 7:30 to 4:30. But if you can't get here at 7:30 and you need to get here at 7 o'clock, we're here at 7 o'clock and we open the doors. We're not like the other stores, like, oh my God, I'm not opening until 7:30. We open when we're here. The door is open, so we go till 4:30. Okay. Most of the people are getting what they need to get by the because the contractors are still moving. They're still doing their work.
Oh,
so, till 4:30. We go till 4:30. We're going till 4:30. We go till 7:30 to 4:30, and then on Saturdays till 3. So it's the same hours that we've been having.
Okay.
It's service, Joe. That's what it's all about is service.
You're absolutely right, Dave.
Yeah.
So I'm glad things are going well, and people are coming there, and they say, well, are they telling you, Denise? Well, we think it's just going to be too big or too crowded at the big box store, so that they want to come see you.
To tell you the truth, yes, they do say that. They do say that they don't want to go there. They want to come because you can come and go over here. You can be in and out, and it takes you 2 minutes to get in and out, get what you need, and go right to your job. The big box store, yes, it takes a little bit more of a time because it's a bigger store. There's more people.
They say nothing of the traveling, Denise.
Yeah. They do say that.
You can be back home working on your project with whatever you bought in the time it takes for you to go there and come back.
Come back, yeah. And they also say to us too, we came where it's not knowledgeable. We're going to get the right information.
And forgive me for preaching once again, but it's my job as a member of the board of directors of the Buy Local group that you want to keep the money local too if you can. I'll tell you, you can't always, but you can when you need something, and you go to Pepin Lumber.
Yeah, and you don't have to wait in line. Go get in, get out. And not. I don't like anybody waiting. I like, come, you need to know, I need to know what you want, so you can go back to your job. Not that I want to rush you, it's just, I don't like to go anywhere waiting. I don't like to be waiting. I like to do what I need to do and, go do what I need to do.
And just move on, sure. All right.
So
that's how, people, that's what they want, and they don't want to wait either.
Watch this, Joe. So, Denise, now, for this past winter, I'm sure you noticed that I didn't come in nearly as often buying salt for the salt spreader that I bought from Pepin Lumber for the parking lot as I thought I would be. In fact, I've got 3 bags of salt left over from the last batch I bought. Can I keep those in the garage until next year? Are they still going to be good?
Yes. Oh, yes, they'll still be good. Yep, you can use them next year.
Well, see, you learn that stuff when you go to Pepin Lumber, you see, because they know these things.
Yeah. No, just keep them and they'll be fine for next year.
Forgive me for thinking I was lucky that it didn't have so many snowstorms. I didn't have to pay for plowing as much. But I really enjoy going there, and we drive in the back, and they fill up the back of the XB with the salt. It's just very, very simple.
Yeah.
All right,
it
very
is.
good.
It is.
Denise Leverell from Pepin Lumber, thanks for joining us this morning on Coffee Inn, and you have yourself a wonderful day, and say hi to all the fine folks coming in to purchase their products from Pepin Lumber.
And say hi to the family for me.
Okay. All right, well, we miss seeing you, Joe. I hope
thank you.
Come in and visit
They
us.
always miss seeing Joe. When I walk in, they say, "How's Joe?" My goodness, you ladies, I'll tell you.
Very jealous.
We all love Joe. Let's see.
He's just an easy guy to get along with.
That's right. All right. Thanks, Denise. We'll talk to you later, okay?
Okay.
Very good. This portion of the Coffee and program has been sponsored by the Call newspaper.
The Call is proud to announce a new and improved daily classified advertising program for our newspaper readers, subscribers, and advertisers. Blackstone Valley Values is a more affordable local buying and selling marketplace every day of the week. Lost and found, apartment rentals, items for sale, homes for sale or rent, and even job listings will now be even more within your reach. As always, if you have something you want to sell, call us today with your ad, and it'll appear in the next day's call. Be sure to contact us, though, before the 3 p.m. deadline. Furthermore, if you're a subscriber to the Call, you'll benefit from value member discounts and possibly some free advertisements with this new program offer. The Call continues to be dedicated to you, as we have been for over 120 years. Call us today and learn more about our new classified program at 767-8503. To subscribe to the Call and become a valued member, call today, 767-8522.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. I'm a better neighbor because my service has taught me how important it is to be a team player. My training helps me in my classes when I give attention to detail to the task at hand. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Rhode Island Army National Guard. Aired by the Rhode Island Broadcasters Association and this station.
Just a reminder from your friends at ON Radio. ON Cares.
It's Coffee In on ON AM and FM. This is Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards. Good morning, Dave.
Oh, hello there.
All right, Dave. Because you think a lot differently than how I think, maybe you have the answer to this question. All right. Now, in Rhode Island, the governor has closed the state beaches and parks. Correct. And she plans on phase one, she might be opening up the state parks sooner than the beaches. Okay? You following me so far?
Yeah.
All right. Now, out in California, they've opened the beaches. And they didn't have the crush of people that they had last time they did this. But the question is, as I'm reading a news story out of California, they say people can go out onto the beach and they can use the sand for exercise, but you can't stop and sit down on a blanket, let's say, and just and do nothing, as they say out in California, soak up the rays. Why can't you do that?
Well, you can become an obstacle for someone else. If you do it and the one next to you does it and the one next to you does it, nobody can walk.
Well, you don't go down. Well, but if you go to the beach normally, you don't set up your area where people are walking, so you wouldn't do that anyway. If the surf is down to your, well, whichever way you're standing, if the surf is over to your left, you'll be setting up your blankets and things like that and towels away from where the surf is, so people walk near the surf. So you wouldn't be really blocking people who are walking. And if you come along and I've got my space set up, and then it would be up to you, Dave, to just say, well, I got to be 6 feet away from Joe. And if I'm 6 feet away from that person over there, okay, this space can be mine, and everything should be fine. Do you follow what I'm saying here?
Yeah, I still don't see the problem, though.
Well, I don't know.
Because if everybody goes out there and claims a piece of beach, then nobody else can use the beach because of restrictions. Okay, fine. You can't even walk to the water because you're going to walk through somebody's space?
You do that at the supermarket.
Yeah, but there's nothing they can do about that. Here they're making rules.
Okay. Well, they make it sound like it'll be a bad thing if you can't be out in the sun. That's almost what it sounds like.
Really?
Well,
I'm
to
not
me-
sure that that's what their point is. Although, how much sun you get should be monitored, and you should do it according to your health and the abilities you have to ward off the UV rays. That is, wearing the proper skin treatments or whatever. So the amount of sun you get should be considered.
But when you go to the beach, isn't part of the fun of going to the beach is just sitting there and looking at the ocean and listening to the surf and like that? You go there to sit down and relax. And here in California, they say, well, you got to keep moving. Well, that's not the point of going there.
Well, that may not be your point of going there. When I go to the beach, I walk.
The entire time?
Mostly.
Okay. Well, you must be in the minority because you look around.
Well,
and
I
you see
don't know. It depends on what you go there for. I mean, the salt air and all the rest of that stuff. It's great. It has its place. I've never been a sun worshiper, although I got big doses of it when I was a kid because back then they thought that was the way that you were healthy. As I've grown older, just the smell of the salt air, the taste of the surf, stuff like that, it does things for me because I spent a lot of formative years down at the ocean, and so it has a personal thing for me. Sitting there doing nothing is not. I'm not good at that.
Oh, okay.
I never was good at sitting there doing nothing. Just never was. So, like you said at the beginning of the conversation, my brain thinks differently.
So you're not one to go and just, like a lot of people go and they'll take a nap on the beach.
No, that's bad news. I knew that from the time I was very young. The person who goes there and takes a nap on the beach
they're in trouble.
has got a date with the, well, in our case, it was either Noxema or something else like that later in the day.
Yeah. Okay.
So I know a lot of people do that, and if that's their fun, fine. But if the government thinks that everyone is safer if everyone is moving along, then that's the decision they have to make. Through all of this stuff, you're going to agree or disagree with the decisions the government makes. And it's our privilege in this country to say that whether we think those decisions are right or wrong. And there's also our privilege to dispose of people who make decisions we think are wrong when the ballot comes along. Everything is taking its natural course. I'm not seeing any evil in any of this. You got people here who are making decisions that they'd rather not make for people they don't even know, affecting lives in a way they probably wish they didn't have to. And they're doing the best they can. And if they're blowing it, they're blowing it. But, I mean, it's all on them if they do. But I don't see any evil going on here.
Well, I don't see any evil either, but it's just if it's me, going to the beach, I don't go to the beach just to keep walking. It's to sit down and relax. But then on the other hand, the governor out in California, wants people to go walking or jogging or hiking, and he even came out and said, and go play tennis. Now around here, you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want you to. They've taken the tennis nets down. So
there's other reasons for it, and sometimes there's collateral damage in the decisions that they make. We know that. John Ward has repeatedly mentioned about his disagreement with the governor's decision to close, in particular, Lincoln Woods was the example that he used, but all the state parks, because he thought people were using them conscientiously. But she was being advised that would be a big problem. You got to understand also that you can make a decision and you don't even find out it. You find out right away if it's popular, but you don't find out right away whether it was the right one for people's health. Now, I've talked to some people in the last few weeks that have said the reason why we have all these restrictions and the fact that they're all drawn out for so long, unbearably long, some people think, is because the government made the decision to destroy the economy and do the social distancing thing to try to save lives. Instead of, another decision would have been to hold on tight and let it sweep through, kill itself off, and and then, many millions of Americans as well. And on the whole, it's a very good year for the undertaker. But there's different ways of looking at it. And this particular time, the government decided not to go that way. They decided to go with to try to suppress it, so fewer people died. And I don't see a lot of people disagreeing with that theory, but that theory, when it's implemented, can show a lot of collateral damage, a lot of unintended consequences. I think is probably the better way for me to say that. They're not trying to tick people off. They're not trying to make unreasonable decisions, but they have to make large decisions that affect everybody equally. That's the big problem.
True. Now, the governor has said in phase one they're calling that testing the waters, and they will begin to reopen some parks, including Lincoln Woods. Now, there's no dates yet. We'll be opening with reduced parking capacity to help promote more social distancing. And in this first phase, you'll be able to go to the parks with your family to do things like take a walk, go for a run or a bike ride, or go fishing, the kinds that can be done in small groups. Unfortunately, we won't be able to do group activities right away like picnic, cookout, or contact sports. Opening the beaches comes in phase two because it's got its own set of problems.
And you also hear that Governor Raimondo also said, okay, 2 weeks ago was Easter. A bunch of people cheated. Did you see the spike this weekend in both cases and deaths?
No.
Well, that's what she's saying. It was in our newscast this morning.
Yeah.
She references the spike this weekend to, not coincidentally, being 2 weeks after Easter, and she thinks that a lot of people cheated on the social distancing.
Mm-hmm.
And then if she releases the restrictions in phases and people cheat, there could be more.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look what happened in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
Nice day, and everyone went to Central Park.
Right.
And they handed out what they say, 86 citations.
Oh, sure.
Something like that. So, yeah. So
hang in, take a deep breath, hang in there, gang. It's not going to be pleasant, but you do what the government tells you to do. Heck, that guy up in Worcester that runs the church up there in Worcester, how'd you love to be a member of that flock? They had 40 of them in there on Sunday because he's telling them, hey, listen, government can't tell you what to do. First Amendment, 14th Amendment, they can't tell us we can't gather together and worship God. And so he's standing up on his high horse over there, and he got a $300 fine for what he did this weekend, and I imagine there'll be more if he persists. But what I'm concerned about is what happens to his flock if they get sick.
It could be an issue for him, by the way.
That means it's 9 o'clock. There's the V.
One last thing. It was supposed to be Kentucky Derby this past weekend.
I know.
That did not happen, but they had a virtual Kentucky Derby, Dave.
Really?
Secretariat won.
Of course.
The 1973 Triple Crown winner.
Yeah, right.
Won the virtual race. So good for the horse.
A good horse, a good horse. And this is also the 10-year anniversary of the floods in Nashville. I was there for that with a bunch of my friends.
Yeah.
And at a convention. And a bunch of my friends didn't make it to the